Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm Upskid PT, and for today what we have here is the Surge. So the Surge was developed by the Tech 13 and it's using their own engine called Flash. So this engine and this developer had already developed one game. Well, in fact, they developed more games, but they are famous for a game called Lords of the Fallen, which was developed with CI Games, I mean, as a publisher. And so the Surge pretty much keeps more and less the same type of gameplay as Lords of the Fallen, which is more and less a Souls game, which is very similar to Dark Souls, but in this game, The Surge, they take the game to a new level, which is bringing a futuristic version of Dark Souls, let's say this way, or the Wars of the Fallen. So as for the performance and graphic settings, well, this is very disappointing. I'm playing the game with the minimum settings, with the resolution scaling set to 60%, which pretty much should be something like playing the game at something like 460p, which is a very low resolution, and you can notice very well on the quality. So all the settings are set to the minimum, with the exception of lens flare, which doesn't really make a difference regarding the performance. But as you can see, there is a lot of pixelation going on because of that, and sometimes the frame rate just goes below the 30 FPS. So this is very disappointing regarding the performance on this laptop. I'm not going to say that it's unplayable. As you can see, I'm playing in here and making a good job in it, but it's not really that satisfying, and with graphics like this, with no shadows and almost no lightning, so it is really disappointing, and maybe not the best way to play the game. So if you have a PS4 and Xbox One, I feel recommended to obviously play with it, but if you have this laptop, well, it's not the best way to enjoy the game, but still it's playable, but not too comfortable, okay? So contrary to Dark Souls, besides I'm playing with the Gamepad, which is something that I usually do on this laptop, what happens is with this game you don't need a gamepad, so the game is perfectly playable with keyboard and mouse. So this is good news for players that don't own a gamepad and had some serious complaints about Dark Souls on its PC version. But in this game it's completely fine, you can play it with mouse and keyboard. So that's pretty much it. It's a disappointing frame rate and performance and graphics for this laptop, but still it's playable on its own. Yes, sometimes the frame rate goes to the 20s, low 20s, but it still manages to be playable, okay? So that's bottom of the line. Anyway, if you want to check the frame rate without recording with different levels of the resolution scaling, just check on the description of the video or by the end of it. So hope you enjoy the rest of the gameplay, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you a lot for watching.
Why don't you listen? You need to upgrade your power core or replace it, otherwise you ain't getting through that door. If you keep overloaded without the proper power capacity, security is gonna end up all over your ass. We've come too far to get caught now. Those implants are worth thousands. This is our golden ticket. Get out of here, man. Don't screw it up.
This is not a scheduled break time. Connection to database restored. Happy to help. Gear voucher detected.
Hello boys and girls, welcome to the performance section of the video. So as you can see, with multiple types of resolution scaling values, let's say this way, 70% for example, the average is lower than 30 FPS, with 60%, which was what I used to record, was with an average of 31, and 50% of the resolution, it was 36%, which looks quite nice in terms of results, but it is very ugly. So looking to the consistency, you can see that half of the frame rate is lower than 30 FPS with the resolution scaling that we use. But if you use 50% of resolution scaling, only 19% of the frames was lower than 30 FPS, while on the 25 FPS, lower than this, for example, if you use the same 60% that we used on the video, it's just 13%. Which isn't that bad, and if you use 50% of resolution scaling is 4%. So my complaint pretty much is just the graphics that we have to play. I think we can play, let's say this way, with the game jumping from the 30 FPS to 25 or sometimes low 20s, but those graphics with such low values of resolution scaling really makes it disgusting to play. That is just my personal complaint. But as you can see, let's say more stuff about this. So the game just used 700 megabytes of RAM and it used 3.8 gigabytes of RAM. So if you have 4 gigabytes of RAM, I'm pretty sure that you will be able to play the game. CPU usage wise, it was between the 40s and 70%, and GPU usage was on its maximum. So that pretty much sums it up. So that's just that. You are going to play the game with the minimum settings, with no shadows and a lot of pixelations going on, which is pretty ugly, and with frame rates dipping from the 30 FPS to 25 or let's say low 20s. It all depends on the resolution scaling values that you're going to use, but that's pretty much all the results that you're going to get with these graphic settings. Okay, so hope you did enjoy the video, hope that this was helpful to you. If you have any question about anything, just leave on the comment section of the video, and that's all. Thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.